What's going on, everyone? Welcome. We are back. Finally, we are back with our show Niners Now podcast. I am joined by the lovely Jess. Jess, we are back doing our podcast this year. How you doing? What's going
What
on,
is
everyone?
up? What's going
Welcome.
on? I'm
Yeah,
excited to be
finally,
back.
we
It's
are
good to be
back
back with you.
with our show Niners. Good. Yeah. Uh, there's so much to talk about. Now, it's kind of nice that we're starting our stream coming off a victory of the Patriots, and I want to definitely get into that conversation. Um, before we go on, I just want to get your output and your take of the game. Tell me what you felt about the game, how we played. Uh, kind of give me a summary of it, and then we'll break it down more details.
It was definitely a bounce back game. It's a game that we definitely needed. Um, Fred Warner played lights out like he always does. Nick Bosa even started to come into his own. Brock Purdy, can't say enough about him. I know people are still going to move the goalposts and their comments about him and stuff, but Brock Purdy's having a hell of a year, and he continues to have a good year. But the game was good. I mean, I at some points I thought that we let them hang around a little bit too much. But in the end, we wound up putting them away, and hopefully we do that against Arizona.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely going to be facing a different type of quarterback for sure. But I like the way I love the energy that the Niners came up with. We had that unfortunate mishap with the Rams where we pretty much controlled the whole game, and the defense kind of laid an egg in that game and kind of gave the game away. That game should have been won, but neither here or there. But the defense came with a different attitude. The defense came out to play. People have been telling, yeah, but you're facing a Patriots offense. It's not. I said, I don't care if they're good or not. You still got to perform as a defense. And the type of performance the Niners displayed is something that should happen when you play a lesser quality team. And yes, Hargrave got hurt, Jess, and he's out for the year. And prayers to him and his family for a speedy recovery. But we needed some guys to come in, and we needed some of these young guys to step in and take some of that load. And we had Jordan Elliott come in. Unfortunately, he got hurt a little bit. Hopefully, he'll be ready to play against Arizona. But he did very well. I was very impressed by him and the young kid Evans Anderson. That kid, very impressive, and also defensive end wise, Sam. I keep hard to pronounce his name. I like to call him like
Inanu,
coachless Sam O. What is his last name?
I believe it's Okayanu.
Okiano. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't want to butcher it, but um,
but let's just
I'm
call him Samo.
Samo. Yeah, and I came out very impressed, and I'm going to give you guys some stats on those players in a little bit. But let's go ahead and say hello to Jimmy. He says, "What's good, faithful? How is everyone doing today? What's up, Jimmy?"
Hey, Jimmy.
Then we got Daniel Burry Sports Highlights. He says, "Yo, yo, 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 what's up, brother? Welcome." We got Daniel Cantu says, "Hey, Beto and Jess has an echo." Oh crap!
Hmm.
Don't tell me that.
Can't hear you.
Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two. Can you hear me?
Go. Now you're back.
Okay. You didn't tell me I was gone.
I was trying to motion to you. I sent you a text
Is that?
message.
Oh, is that? No, my phone's charged. Oh, is that what you were doing? You know
Yeah,
what?
I was like, I can't hear you.
Sorry. When if like this would have been anyway. That okay, but I thought you were like because I was talking what I was talking about. I thought you were like dramatizing what I was saying, like like mind blowing. That's what I thought. So I saw you, but I thought you were talking like mind blowing because of the echo part.
No, I would have been like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. At least I was told. All right, so we're back to action. At least I am for now. Is the echo gone? Now we can hear you. Thank you, Dina. Go ahead and say something, Jess, to make sure that your echo's gone.
so what did you think of our offensive line?
Um, they were. I mean, PFF gave them a high rating this week. Again, the pass rush of the Patriots are no bueno. They were with that. You think we're injured? They had a lot of players injured. Their Fred Warner middle linebacker was out, so they didn't put that much pass rush on us. But I did like the way we performed. I did notice with Kovic McKivitz, he was handling himself. 'Cause I like to watch the all 22 film, not just the game itself, and break down. I break things down like offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, running back, and so forth. And I did watch the offensive line, and based on what they were playing against, they did very, very well. I was pleased with them. I think we only gave up one sack, and that was because uh, Purdy was moving around. So overall, I was pleased. Now, can they continue to build on this with better defensive ends rushing them? We shall see. But I was pleased. What are your thoughts of the offensive line? And kind of go a little long so they see they can hear your echo.
I was pleased as well. I thought Trent Williams did a hell of a lot better this game than he did the past few games. And I saw today David Lombardi had posted something in one of his articles that they're actually starting to run to the right side of the line more than than the left side. And the left side, Trent Williams is on the right side, Colt McKivitz is on, but Dominic Pooney is on there as well. So that's a good thing. To kind of utilize both sides of the line. But I thought they played well. I just hope it continues.
Thank you, Dina. She's informed us the echo is gone, so that is good. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Hopefully, they can continue to improve from that. I never questioned Trent Williams, and right now, I'm not even questioning. I'm actually questioning Bank a little bit more than I even question Pooney. Pooney's very listen. Pooney has been a gem for us. This kid has, I mean, from day one has done his thing. I'm in love with this kid going
He's
forward.
definitely not playing like a rookie.
No, he's not playing like a rookie. He's playing like a vet. There's I seen mistakes like a rookie makes, but not enough to hurt your team. And that's the difference. Mistakes are going to be made, especially with young players in football. But how big are those mistakes and what does it cost your team? And it's not like he made a mistake and Brock Purdy's out for 2 days or made a mistake and we didn't run the ball well. They're not mistakes like that. They're minimal mistakes that can be corrected. I am very pleased with him. I'm hoping that we can eventually get the Brindle situated. He's not as bad as a lot of people say he is, but he's not that good either. So we definitely got to get better at center and eventually right tackle.
Well, John Feliciano should be coming back. So we'll see if they kind of plug him into center. but I don't know. I don't see them really doing too much about the center position. Um, and I agree with you. Like Jake Brendel's not as bad as everybody everybody seems. Um, I mean, hell, I think even Colton McKivitz had a decent game last week. So I mean, we'll see what happens. They always say that, the first few games of September are, kind of like the preseason, just because of like all the rules and stuff like that. So, we'll see against Arizona. Although with Arizona, their defense is not so good. Their secondary isn't too bad. Um, but their front line is not the best. So I don't know if that'll be a real test for the offensive line. But as far as them the offensive line gelling, I guess it'll just be, it'll be good. Like it'll be good.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And listen, do we have a top offensive line? No. Niner fans have always questioned why the Niners don't emphasize on the offensive line. But you got to understand too, if you love the Debos, if you love the Kiddos, if you love the Ayuks and CMCs and these playmakers, money has to be allocated around the team. So you got to figure out, okay, where are you going to put your money at? And one of the main spots is left the protection of Brock Purdy. So that's where Trent Williams comes in. And this offense is really designed just to work with Kyle's system. The extra help that the offensive line gets is how quick receivers can get open. Because Brock, as soon as he sees a receiver, he can get it out. Um, Now you can see definitely with Brock, when you give him time, the guy can be dangerous. I mean, that Patriots game, I must have watched it like 4 times because it's like he had time back there and he threw some bombs. Okay, and real quick, I just want to get this out. Anybody that continues to say that Brock Purdy does dink and dunk, you don't know football. You just don't. You might have said in the beginning, if you change your tune because you see something different, I respect that. But if people continue to say that he can't throw deep, he's not, I don't know what you're looking at, but I saw some deep throws and some accurate catches. To Debo was one, and I believe the other one, Jawan
Ron
Jennings.
Jennings.
And we're going to talk about Jawan Jennings in a few minutes because this kid does not get the credit that he deserves. He, to me, and we'll talk about a little bit more, he really takes that number three receiver to a high new level. And this kid is special this year. Um, we got some new people popping in. We got Rick Diaz in the house. What's up, Rick? We got
Hey, Rick.
Terradome in the house. What's up, Terradome? Good to see you, my friend.
Pterodome.
Always a pleasure of having you guys in here. Um, and then we have a new face here. If you've been here before, my apologies. I'm an old man. I forget what happened 5 minutes ago. Surprised I remember my name. But if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. Welcome. You are representing. You know what? I'm going to read this wrong, so you say it. Lubbock, Texas. Did I read it wrong?
Yeah, Lubbock,
Okay.
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Welcome. I hate when words that I'm not sure because 99 times I butcher something more than getting it right. So I'm surprised that I got it right if it's correct. Watch it pop up in the comment. No, it's not. I'm like, oh man, okay. Took away my fun.
Bebop's in the house.
But welcome. Yes, there he is. What's up, Bebop? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. So Terradome says the O-line draft, the O-line them in the first and second and third round instead of guys who touch the ball. Oh my God, this is so small. And I took off my glasses. Hold on.
I know. I thought it
Stop.
was just me.
Okay. Don't get old. All right. Don't get old. Then there will be
I'm reading it from the comments because it's still small.
no. I have it a little bit bigger on my side, and I still need my glasses. Be quiet. Shh. Nobody's talking. Um, I love my girl Jess. Anyway, then they will be on it rookie deal, save money, protect quarterback, and dominate the run game. Sorry that I sound like a third grade reading that Terradome, but thank you for that. Rick Diaz says, "Let's go, faithful." Diener Empire. I think you meant to say Niner Empire. This is Rick coming from Chicago, a diehard Niner fan. That's my team. Let's go, Niners. Right on, brother. I love that energy. I love that energy. And then Bebop says, Dina, baby. Ooh, look at this smooth talker over here. Calm down, killer. Calm down, little playboy. Love my boy Bebop. So, Jess, it was an ass whipping of 30-13. And 7 of those points came off a rookie mistake by our running back. You know, a lot of people want to blame the special team coordinator, but when you have the ball and you run into your own player, which causes the ball to be
Uh, You know what though? Beto, he barely ran into our own guy. He like almost like tapped our own guy, and then the ball comes out. And as far as Brian Schneider, our special teams coordinator, special teams has been a disaster.
no, I agree. Go ahead. I was going to say that, but go ahead. Share your thoughts, girl.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but they've been a disaster, and and for quite a while now, we haven't really been up to par on special teams. And it's we were talking about this last night on my show that it's definitely like a glaring need that we have to fix special teams because they almost cost us the game. And on quite a few situations. And I don't know about you, but like with Jake Moody, I don't have the best confidence in Jake Moody either. I guess because he doesn't really scream confidence, just like his demeanor and and stuff like that. I mean, hey, he's probably like a chill guy and that's cool, but I don't know, just that's just my opinion. But what do you think?
Um, yeah, our special
What's
teams
up, Don?
coordinator, he doesn't definitely impress me at all. I think these last few years, it's been crazy in that department. Hopefully, we can bring someone that can actually coach our special team players. Now, I started off with saying that he bumped into his own man, and that wasn't his fault. But I was going to proceed with, yeah, but that doesn't happen all the time. And what about all the other problems that we have? Kicking, as you brought up, and Don, I see you there, little sis. Welcome. Um, I don't know. Um, I just want him to kick better. Personally, I can care less what he looks like or what he's just kick the damn ball. But if that what we
Well,
see on
that's
screen
part of the
reflects his
whole
confidence,
that's like part of the whole confidence thing is what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't I don't care what the dude looks like or anything like that. It's just like he just doesn't
display
scream
confidence to you.
confident.
Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah, I hear you. Listen, people may argue with me all they want. I don't care. I still think drafting a kicker in the 3rd round was stupid, but that's me. I understand the philosophy of trying to do something like that, but you can find so many kickers, and they don't all hit. But that kid from the Cowboys kicker was undrafted, and the dude hasn't missed a field goal this season. Um, and when you see him talk, that confidence that he talks with is what you're lacking in our guy. And you're right. You want to see our players, whether they believe it or not, at least show us they're confident in what they're doing. When they're sloping down and they kind of look like this, then you got to wonder, like, man, you know, when is this going to change? So you want to at least display confidence to the media, and he lacks of it. Hopefully, he'll get better. Maybe he's, I don't know. I don't want to defend him too much, but that extra point or field goal miss is a little, worrisome, because there are going to be games that we're in that we can just win the game or lose the game by a field goal. And I think because he nails 53 yarders, he nails long one. But one thing I noticed, Jess, and I want to know if you noticed this, maybe it's just me, but it seems like when the pressure is on, he misses. When he just has to go and kick, and there's no score, we're up by 14 points, but yet we got stopped on offense, so we decide to kick it. He seems to kick it perfectly, but it's like, you got to make this kick type of thing. He turns into a different individual in my opinion. Maybe it's me, but I see him like when he knows the pressure's on, he doesn't handle it very well. What are your thoughts on that part of his play?
No, I definitely see what you're saying. I just, and you're right. Like, there's going to be games where, we need him to kick, and it's like it's winner, winner go home, or, like
Yeah, yeah,
we
like
need
the
him to
Super. I
tie
mean,
the
the playoffs.
game, or
Yes,
or something like that. And, he's got to make those kicks. Um, I mean, the offense isn't always going to be, we're not always going to be blowing teams out, and, and stuff like that. So, like I said, he definitely has to make the kicks.
definitely. All right, let's move on. Listen to something a little bit more positive. I appreciate you bringing up that point, because that is a very, very valid point, Jess. Appreciate that. Let's move on to a kid that I believe was undrafted. I got to double check on that. But he was brought up to the Niners practice squad, and he kind of sat there. And because of Hargrave getting hurt, because of our defensive line, this kid was promoted. One of the two that I'm going to mention was promoted to the active squad, and he participated against the Patriots. And for playing off the practice squad, I'm gonna we settled that we're gonna call him Sam O. Uh, has displayed characteristics in his game that I loved watching film. Okay, he had 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble in that game. That's huge, but it's not just the stats. If you look at the breakdown of the film, you see his stance. You see that he anchors down when he goes against when he goes against two offensive linemen, the tackle of the guard, he anchors down, particularly in the run. It's like if there's a lane for the linebacker to go through, he will make that lane. And um, I know there was a play where he anchored down, held two individuals, and there was a window about this wide, no lie. And Fred Warner by that time was already out of the game. He wasn't, because he got hurt. Number 59, which I know his name, but I refuse to mention it. It's terrible. He, instead of jumping that gap, I guarantee if it was Fred Warner, and again, and in his defense, not everyone is Fred Warner. I understand that. So I don't want to disrespect 59 too much, but Greenlaw would have stepped in that gap and immediately hit that running back. The gameplay wasn't that big. The running back got like 4 yards, but he could have just got 1 yard if 59 would have went into that gap that Sam O opened up. And this is what Sam O does. Yeah. No, I know his name, Terradome, but I just refuse to say it. But I'll say it just so people know that I know it. Devontae Campbell. Uh, but I don't like his play. I know that we got to be positive with our Niner team, but I'm praying for, I don't know about you, Jess, but I'm praying for Greenlaw to come back. We need Greenlaw. This guy is not it. And I understand we got to be positive, but the guy is not playing good football. I want to get your thoughts on this linebacker first, and then have you finish it off with Sam O and your thoughts on him because I know that's a more brighter spot.
Well, Devondre Campbell is definitely um not good. Uh as far as coverage and run stop and he's just I don't think he's good at all. I mean, I'm glad that we have D Winners. I'm glad that we just got Jalen Graham back. We poached him off the Commanders
Commanders.
practice squad. Um, so I mean, I'm not even a big fan of DFF either. But yeah,
No,
Devondre
no.
Campbell, definitely not good, in my opinion. But Sam O is a bright spot. Yes, we lost Javon Hargrave, so guys have to step up. I also like Jordan Elliott. But you have Malik Collins, Jordan Elliott, Samo, all doing their thing, and it's definitely good to see.
Yeah, yeah, and we're gonna break down a little bit of um, the guy Collins, Malik. I mean, this guy was definitely a great signing. He you start seeing him improve from game one, game two, and as he's getting more comfortable with the scheme of this defense and what Nick Sorensen is preaching out there. More importantly, um, and I told you just today's one of those name forgetting days. Um, help me out here, Jess. Our defensive line coach, um,
Chris Kosarek.
Chris Kaseric. Thank you. What he asks of you, especially when you're playing the white nine, you got to make sure you don't get beat on the outside. You can't over pursue. You got to anchor down, and you got to hold your area. And Sam O has definitely done that. Listen, in my opinion, I think this guy's earned more snaps. I think we're going to see a little bit more of him against the Cardinals than we did against the Patriots. I think the Niners feel good about him. They feel confident. And so do I. I think this guy just needs the opportunity under Chris Kosarek. Will continue to develop him. And we got it. And he's a pass rusher. He is a pass rusher. So he brings this attitude to that defensive line that I love. Now, this kid, young kid, the Niners, I forgot how much they gave him to bring him into the practice squad, but Evan Anderson, number 69. Now, when I saw him come out there in a tighter shirt that what I wear, I mean, this guy was wearing a medium shirt, and it's like it's gonna break off of him. I'm like, man, I hope he don't get mishandled out there. I hope he doesn't get thrown. But boy, was I wrong. The Duke can anchor, the Duke can set his feet, and the guy was amazing what he did in this game. And he is a prospect that can continue to develop and become great for this organization. I love what I saw from this kid. I love what I saw from Sam O. That is huge, especially if we decide not to bring Hargrave back for whatever reason. That's a discussion for a later time. But we need people to step up, particularly because we're going to sign Brock Purdy. So the luxury of bringing high names and free agents is not you're not going to hear that much no more. So it's very important that these young men develop into great players, and we're starting to see that with Samo and Evan Anderson, and I love that. And then Elliott, like you mentioned, Jess Elliott. Now he's dealing a little bit with injuries, but the guy can plug the hole. You're not running on him. You're not going to run on him. The kid is special. Now, since I've been talking a little bit too long, I'm going to mention Malik Collins, and I have my part of him, but I want to get your thoughts since game one against the Jets to game four against the Patriots. His development under this defense. What has impressed you so far?
About Malik Collins?
Yes.
He's just he's just one of those guys that just, is there. Like he's always around, like he always, I mean, I like him. He seems to be like on a humble guy as well. But I like him. I think he's doing a really good job. And like I said before, like, with Jordan Elliott, Samo, Nick Bosa coming into his own, this year, I think the defensive line as a whole, I think they're only going to get better. And Dina, to answer your question, no, it's not a new Kyle stand up.
Oh, got you. Um, there it is. She listen. I did the thumbnail for today's. If you guys seen it, and I wanted to put Niners Now podcast, but I would have to cover Kyle a little bit on the T-shirt of this young lady here, and I'm scared. I'm scared of her. So
Yeah, you can't cover the Shanna shirt.
yeah, I. So what did I do? I covered the top of my head, cut off my hat for the sake of Shanahan being shown because I didn't want to hear it from this young lady that smiles on camera, but don't let her fool you. When she's pissed, she'll let you have it, but I would have no other way from my friend. And so I made sure I didn't show him the whole, but he got shown more than what I originally had planned, and that's because I'm scared of this lady next to me, and she's in Jersey, and I'm in California, but she flies around the world like nothing I've seen. So I would not put it past her to fly to California, find my house, beat me up, and then fly back before anybody knows it. So I am not messing with her. I love my girl Jess, but yeah, man, Kyle's her. Kyle, don't talk about Kyle, and don't talk about Purdy. I mean, Kittle. I've learned that the hard way, especially with Kittle. Don't talk about Kittle. If Kittle has a bad day, lie and say he'd had an okay day. Don't say he had a
I
bad day.
I think I think like this season though, especially the Minnesota game, um and the Rams game, I was kind of like, you know, I was a little pissed at Kyle, because I felt like he was just like in his own way, like with those two games, so but he called a really good game against the Patriots. So I definitely hope that continues.
Actually, talking about calling the game, it just been brought to memory that are you aware, Jess? I think you are because you're a very smart individual. But are you
Thank
aware
you.
who's calling the game this Sunday?
I am.
Should I just let that go, guys, or should I tell her to say the name? I'm gonna let it
You
go.
mean you mean
Like I said, I'm
you
scared
mean
of
like
her. So
that you mean like the analysts, right?
yeah, yeah, the people that call the game. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Tom Brady.
yeah. There you go. I know you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bring that up because you mentioned about calling the game. Tom Brady played. Brock Purdy is the only rookie quarterback that has beaten him
Hmm.
in his career. Okay. Now he did play Tom Brady in his later years, but still beat him. I am very curious to hear Tom Brady speak. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not a good announcer yet. He'll get better as more game he does. That's just him. But I'm curious to hear what his thoughts are going to be on Brock Purdy based on what Brock Purdy does against the Cardinals. One thing I do know for sure, whether you like Tom Brady or not, he's pretty honest, at least when it comes to football. Um, I'm interested to hear his comments about Brock Purdy. Jess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
You think he'll speak what he sees, or do you think you have a little bias?
No, I don't think so.
Not
I
bias,
think
not the wrong word.
he has nothing to lose, so I don't see him being dishonest about it. I just see him, be telling the truth. And but I definitely want to hear. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Tom Brady, but I definitely want to hear what he has to say about, Brock Purdy from when he started until now, even though it hasn't been that long. But I'm curious to see, his analysis of him.
So hard to point. Sorry. There you go. I'm trying to point to Pterodome's comment, but when you do it in front of the camera, it's like, I got to remember it's always the opposite of the way it showed. Now, I see you drinking water, but your hiccups
Yeah.
are like the ones that people get when they're drinking a beer.
I had a beer earlier.
There. Okay. Now, I haven't drank in a long time, but I haven't forgotten those special hiccups or burps from beer.
Yeah, I had dinner before. Yeah, so
But everyone, Pterodome is said very firmly, hit the like and subscribe for these greats. Now, I don't know about the great part, at least not for me. Just yes, but I am humbled.
I was actually going to jokingly say, not for you.
But I am humble. We are humble, Terradome. So, yes,
Thank you,
please do
Pterodome.
that. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed to the East Coast Red and Gold, please do so. They do a wonderful job over there. They have amazing guests. All four of them are great. And today's like one of those days of not remembering names, so I'm just going to stick with the four because I'm going to butcher one of them. Um, but they do
Yes, it's me, Maddie, Ty, and Becca.
Becca.
And it's the East Coast Running Goal podcast. We're on every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Yesterday we were on a little earlier to accommodate Damon Bruce, who, was kind enough to come on, even though he was feeling under the weather.
You had him
But
on?
yeah, Damon Bruce was on yesterday. Yep. We went
Look
on
at you.
about 3:30 your time. But he's going to come on back on in December. Because by then we'll know where this team really is at, and we'll go into a more detailed discussion. But yeah, Brent Jones is probably going to come back on during Cowboys week. Um, so yeah, looking forward to some new things coming up.
I love it. I love it. You guys gotta definitely give her a follow. She puts a lot of work into it, man. So I appreciate that. So the Patriots got defeated. Now the Patriots, let's keep it real. They're not the best team this year. They're pretty much playing bad football. They're not doing a lot of things well. But as individual players, you play what's on your schedule and you perform your best of your ability individually. The guy that I'm going to mention and I want to talk about, I believe if he continue on this pace, he will definitely be the DPOY this year. I'm talking about all pro Fred. Fred Warner. This guy is a beast. This guy blows me away on the things that he does and what he's done so far. Now he just added a pick six to his resume. I know some people have said it as well, but I've been saying it as well. I think this guy, by the end of his career, and I pray that it's longer than sooner, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Some people ask me, well, Patrick Willis, he was, I go, Patrick Willis did not play long enough. Patrick Willis would have played a couple more years. Guarantee you he would have been a first ballot. So it's not even about comparing Warner to Willis, in my opinion. It's about having two amazing middle linebackers in the Hall of Fame that played for the San Francisco 49ers. I want to get your thoughts, Jess, on the whole career, if you can just sum it up a little bit about Fred Warner, what you like about him, and does he continue to just amaze you?
You know, Fred Warner continues to be great year in and year out. This year he's gotten off to a really awesome start. He already has more touchdowns than Brandon Ayuk. Um, but he's definitely uh, you know, definitely my vote for defensive player of the year. Although I know Aiden Hutchinson is making his, stating his own case over there in Detroit. But I think Fred Warner has it all, and I just think he makes everybody around him great as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the guy in 4 games, and he missed the second half of the Patriots game. Hopefully, this is not something he continues to do. He'll be ready to rock and roll on Sunday against the Cardinals, but his health is priority. The guy has 27, excuse me, 27 tackles, 1 sack, 3 forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. And one of those interceptions was a pick six to the house in 4 games. If he continues this way, the guy just amazes me how important he is in that defense. He is definitely, to me, in my personal opinion, the quarterback of the defense. This is why he has the dot on the helmet. The guy is everywhere. And you saw how much he was missed in the second half. Now, because we were playing the Patriots, it didn't show that much dividends, but it still showed, especially if you watch the film, when he was in for the first half and then when he was out for the second half. It was completely different defense. So Fred Warner, to me, is an amazing player. He a daddy for the first time with his lovely wife, Cindy, and the guy has his own podcast with his wife. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to check. It's called the Warner House. It's not always just about football. It's more like other things they do. So it's kind of cool. But I love this kid. I love them. I love Greenlaw. And I haven't talked to his dad, Fred Warner's dad, in a while. But the first year when he got drafted, me and his dad talked a lot on Facebook. And I think as Fred Warner got popular, I became less popular, I guess. But it is what it is. Fred Warner is amazing. I love him. So hopefully he'll be ready to go on Sunday. Jess, I want to get your thoughts real quick on the secondary. We see them struggle a little bit against the Rams. I understand the Ward was hurt, um, but they changed a lot against the Patriots, and they looked much better out of the four. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Malik Mustafa for his first career start. Now, the very first play is like, oh crap, because he kind of took a bad angle at the running back, but then he fixed it, and it's a rookie. He's a rookie. Those things are, going to happen. But overall, I think he looked good. So I want to get your thoughts on the four guys that were out there. Talk a little bit about them and who impressed you the most in this game, in your opinion. What's up, Crazy Juice?
Well, I was excited to see Renardo Green in there.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely want to see more of him. I know Kyle Shanahan had said that they're going to start, they like to integrate, like the younger guys in there and, and stuff like that. But I mean, we all know how Kyle Shanahan is with rookies. So to actually see them in there, it was definitely good because they definitely played a lot of college ball. So they're definitely ready to go. But our secondary, I think we'll be fine because our defensive line is going to start to light up.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't add more. Great take there, Jess. I'm excited. I know that next off season we're going to talk about Ward, but I love the development of Renardo Green. He's showing signs of why they took him in the second round over an offensive player that went to the Chiefs. That, if I'm not mistaken, he's been benched and remains on the bench as a tackle. Okay, and I won't mention it, but there was a tackle that could have been taken instead of Renardo Green. And I know they're two different positions, but yeah, we still will see who was the better pick going forward. But he started to show good signs here. Lenore is continuing to develop into a great player. Um, Jair Brown didn't quite like his game against the Rams as much, but he definitely tightened things up against the Patriots, looked better, performed better, played better. And then Mustafa back there. And then Ward. When Ward is feeling himself, the guy's just dominating. So our secondary is good. Our defense, our linebackers, an exception of 59, are okay. Can't wait for Greenlaw to come back. But we're starting to get players that will be back healthy. I can't wait to get Ricky Parcell. I know he hasn't played a down. I know he doesn't have a history in the NFL. It's still up in the air of what he can be. But if he can produce what he's done when he did in preseason and or not preseason, but in practices, I would love to see that development in the NFC. I think he's going to be a great player, a great addition to our offense, and I think he'll take the top off a lot of these defenses going forward. So I'm excited for him to come back. Now I want to ask you, I haven't really seen a lot, but I want to know if you read on or been up to date with what's going on with CMC. I heard something about that the tendonitis is now in both of his legs when it was believed that it was in one. Are you more familiar with what's going on with him?
He has bilateral Achilles tendonitis, which means it's in both of his legs. However, it's in one leg more than the other.
Okay.
Because what happened is he overcompensated the one leg and then it develops in the other. So I believe he did get treatment for both. Um, I know he may be back. Um, he may be back in November. I know they're going to start to, ramp him up sooner rather than later per Kyle Shanahan. Um, so we'll see what happens. But yes, Isaac Yiadom did have a decent game on Sunday. Um, Against the Rams, not so much, but he had a decent game on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Bebop says, I want to see Pooney move to right tackle once Feliciano comes back. I don't know if that's a good
I don't think that's
idea.
going to happen.
Yeah, he is playing so well at his position right now. I understand your logic. I know that there's not that much credibility when it comes to McKivitz. I understand, but you don't want to fix something that ain't broken. He's playing and
What's gonna
producing well. Go ahead.
what's
Yeah.
gonna happen before they even think about moving Dominic Pooney? What's up, throwback? What's gonna happen is Spencer Burford played tackle in college, and they're starting to incorporate Spencer Burford at the tackle position now. So that's what's gonna happen before we ever see them move Pooney around the offensive line.
Yeah, and again, I like I said, what's up, 49 throwback? Good to see you, my friend. I can see the logic of it because I know a lot of us are frustrated with the performance of McKivitz. Um, don't throw stones at me, okay? But there are tackles that are much worse than McKivitz. Now we see them in and day out with us, so we're frustrated, and we do definitely need to improve. But I'm with Jess. To me, Pooney is playing really good football right now, where he's at. Um, Spencer Buford has been working on in practices at the tackle position, and they're just right now he's a backup to the tackle, but if they need to put him in there, they will. And that, if I'm not mistaken, like you said, that's more of his natural position, tackle. So we'll see how it goes. Now we just got to figure out Brindo. The guy is. I know that people say he's not the worst of all centers, and I know what I just said about McKivitz, but man, Brindo's bad. Um, when you watch film, the guy misses so many blocks. Defenders come in at Brock Purdy, and he can't step into the pocket because of Brindo. And it's frustrating to see this. Now, against a less inferior team like the Patriots, where the offensive line looked good, imagine giving that time to Brock Purdy against a good defense. Even if you don't give him the same amount of time, but a little more than what he's used to, the damage that he can do. Because our receivers do get open. And we're going to transition to talking about Jawan Jennings, because this kid this year has already done more in 4 games than he did all year last year. So this kid is developing and flourishing before our eyes. He's making miraculous catches. We've seen it twice already. We've seen it last week against the Rams with a defender, behind the defender and caught it. And then in this game, between two defenders, is amazing to see. But Jess, what are your thoughts so far this year on what Jennings and the way that he's playing with confidence? I mean, he's like, give me the ball. I'm not the fastest receiver, but I am not afraid of catching the ball, turning around, and thumping somebody through to get those yards. What are your thoughts of him? Because this guy is amazing.
Well, I'm definitely not surprised about how he's playing because he just has that dog in him, and he always has, even from college, from playing at Tennessee. Um, so the fact that he's, being utilized a little bit more, I love to see it, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Jennings, man, this guy is officially the number 3 receiver. He was the number 1 receiver week 3 against the Rams. He outplayed Brandon Ayuk, and Brandon Ayuk is the one that's getting 30 million plus money. I am one thing that I am glad that the Niners signed Jawan Jennings to 2 years, not one, but 2. And why is 2 better than 1? For the fact that the way he's playing this year, it'll probably be hard to bring him back next year, and they have him for an extra year. So I'm glad that they rolled the dice on him with giving him 2 years, and Jawan Jennings kindly is showing his gratefulness of that by playing wonderful football. And it seems like him and Brock Purdy have become the new Brock Purdy and Ayuk of last year. I see Brock Purdy throw with confidence when he's hitting the ball towards Jennings. He knows he's going to get it, and he lets it go, and he just has complete trust in Jawan Jennings, and I love that. Once Brandon Eek starts to pick up his speed, I hate the whole contract situation because it always slows players down. Same case with Brandon Ayuk. He's kind of developing a little small. He played a better game against the Patriots, so hopefully he starts. And Debo is just Debo. Debo is not that guy, that receiver that's gonna, blow the doors off of defense. But he's a nasty player. That he's a running back and a receiver, and he's very valuable in that. But once you add someone like Jennings, because before he only came in on third downs. People used to always say, why is he call him third and Jawan? Because he always comes only on third downs. And lately, he's been doing more than just on third down. So I'm happy for the kid. I'm fired up for the Niners. I'm fired up for Brock Purdy. With that about Jenny, let's move on to Mr. Irrelevant, who is very relevant now. And people are finally starting to see what this kid is. They can no longer bullcrap things. They can no longer sit there and lie and complain about this or complain about. These guys do not want to be wrong about Brock. That they're trying to find ways to discredit what he's doing. But Brock Purdy, quietly, the silent killer, is just doing his thing. And now these so called experts cannot deny how good he is. And they're starting to change their tune when it comes to Brock. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy, Jess?
Well, he's definitely improved even more from last year, and I think he's having a phenomenal year. He's had no CMC, he's had no George, no Debo, and he's fared pretty well. I mean, he's even with as the offensive line, with Trent Williams, being in there and getting into, game shape and stuff like that. But he's having a phenomenal year, and I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah, I agree. Give me 1 second. Where is he? Listen, in 4 games, his QBR is 73.3, completion rate is 68.9. He's already passed for 1,130 yards, 5 touchdowns in 4 games. He, if he continued with the yardage, this guy's gonna blow up what he did last year when it comes to yards already. If he continues to stay healthy, number one thing, knock on wood, that he remains healthy. This kid is the real deal. Everybody says, but yeah, but if you move him from one system to another, listen, the reality. I told this to Jess before we went live. Every offensive coordinator or every head coach that calls offensive plays have their own way of doing things, their own system. So every quarterback playing out there right now, including Patrick Mahomes, has a system in place. The difference is how good can the quarterback run the system that is in place by the head coach or offensive coordinator. And Brock Purdy has shown that he can drive this fast, fancy car without losing control and crashing it. The guy is precise in his throws. He's able to scalp the defense quickly, go through his progressions. Even when he takes that 7 foot drop back, he's always keeping his eyes ahead. He don't care if the defender's this close or this close. He will keep his eyes on the field to see who opens up. And when he throws the ball with anticipation, he throws it with complete confidence that his receiver is going to come down with that ball. Because I seen the 22 where the receiver hasn't even made his break yet, and the ball's already in the air. And as soon as he makes that break, boom, there goes the ball. That is great anticipation. That's great trust between the receivers and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is he played without the Avengers against the Rams. He didn't have no turnovers. He did not no interceptions. We lost that game. That should have been won, but that was not on Brock Purdy. That was on the defense. He should have won. We should have won that game. Brock Purdy, to me, and I can care less what people say, is a top flight quarterback. He's a top flight quarterback. I grew up watching Joe Montana when he first came from Notre Dame, third round pick under Bill Walsh. His first year wasn't that good. Brock showed more promise than Joe Montana did in his first year. I'm not saying Brock Purdy's Joe Montana, but I'm saying that if he continues in that trajectory, he can become someone like Montana. Remember, Montana wasn't Montana until he became Montana. Brock Purdy is a skilled player. He knows where to put the ball at. He makes sure he doesn't put in harm's way. And a new element that he's brought to his game is the ability to extend plays with his legs. How many first downs did we get against the Patriots? I counted 3 with his legs, maybe more. The
Yeah,
kid
I
is
think that's what
awesome.
impresses me. I think that's what impresses me the most about him is the fact that how well he extends the plays.
Yeah. If the play breaks down and he takes off running, but the thing I love about him is he's smart. And what I mean by smart meaning that he knows he's not Lamar Jackson. He knows he's not Josh Allen and running the ball. So his first objective is to make sure he throws that ball to a receiver. So he's always even when he's running, he's looking to throw. That one when he even took control and he was pointing to Kittle to go in, and he got him the ball for a first down that we later on scored on. It's valuable. He did this on the run. He's able to get out of the pocket. And how many times has he made defensive players look foolish? And they go right over him. They can't wrap him up, and he moves. And I love what I'm seeing in Brock. The Niners got lucky with him. I don't know about you, Jess, but I don't hear that many people talking about Trey Lance anymore. That Trey Lance, and I have not, the kid's a young man. I have a lot of respect for him. I still wish him the best. But nobody talks about him here. Why? Because to me, the way that Brock Purdy's producing, we have moved on. We're lucky that we got him. The Niners are lucky they got him. And we have him. And I believe we have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I'm excited. I know we haven't won the Super Bowl yet, but I'm okay with paying this guy the money. I believe in him, and you're always going to get players. That's the whole thing about drafting. You're always going to get the Debos. You're always going to get the Kittles. You're always going to get the Ayuks. And the Niners are very known for drafting great players in the late rounds. We got a top receiver right now. What round did he get drafted in? 7th? And Juwan Jennings?
I think so.
No, I was just kind of. It was the 7th, but I was just kind of like laying
Oh, okay.
the thing for you. He got drafted in the 7th round, and then you got Brock Purdy drafted in the 7th round, and look at them both now. So the Niners have that history of drafting well in the late rounds, and that's where it's important. Anybody can really draft a player in the high rounds, but the Niners are doing so. Continue to draft well, continue to develop. Brock Purdy will be fine. I know a lot of Niner fans are afraid, well, if we pay Brock, we're going to lose this. Yeah, that's going to happen. But if you continue to draft the way they've been drafting and developing, he's going to get his receivers. I'm telling you right now, if Ricky Parcell turns into a good receiver and we lose Ayuk, or we lose, not Ayuk because we signed him, but if we lose Debo, you probably wouldn't miss him because of the performance of Ricky. Now, Ricky got to step up and show that he can do it, but that's how you sustain yourself with a high-paid quarterback. Draft well, develop, and give pieces to your quarterback. Any final thoughts you want to talk about before we get out of here? I just realized we're past the hour mark.
No, I just, you know what? We need to get this dub because we have a short week, turnaround time, and then we're on to Seattle. So, and it's a division, they're both division games, and we need to win them both. And as always, go Niners.
Yeah, you're right, Jess. On that point, they're both division games, which are first and foremost important, but they're also conference games. I always say this: you don't want to lose games, you don't. But if you're going to lose a game, do it against the AFC. I'd rather lose against Kansas, and I know I hate losing to Kansas City because we don't know if we can beat them. Blah blah blah. I don't want to lose. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. I want to win them all. But if you gave me the next 4 games the Niners are playing, we're playing Cardinals, Seattle. I believe after Seattle is Kansas City.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
And who's after Kansas City? I know it's another
Dallas.
Dallas. There you go. So 3 NFC and 1 AFC. If we go 3-1, wouldn't you rather be 3-1 losing to the Chiefs, where it doesn't hurt your playoff, than losing to one of the conference, and particularly within your division? That's just my point. But thank you, Jess, once again for joining me tonight. We are back. Unless something happens, we will let you make sure to follow me or Jess on Twitter. If for whatever reason we can't make it, we will post it on there for you guys to know. But we are back now. We came on early today. We'll discuss if this is going to be a new time for us or just today. We'll let you know on Twitter or X. So stay tuned for that and have your notifications on so that way, if you don't see us on X, but we go on a different time, you will be notified so you can come and join us. We appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are amazing. I pray for blessings upon your family, your loved ones. Uh, so continue to support us. We love you guys, and we'll see you if everything goes well and God permits it. We'll see you next Thursday, either 4 or 5 Pacific Standard Time next week. Jess, go ahead and close this out, girl.
Faithful, let's get this dub. Go Niners.
Go Niners. All right, guys, we're out of here. Much love and respect to all of you. Peace. Niners for life.